Hi, my name is Mohamed Ibrahim. I work as a tour guide in Egypt for almost 20 years. Tour guide in Egypt means that someone had to study ancient Egypt, Greco-Roman Egypt, Coptic Egypt, Islamic Egypt, and modern Egypt. Not only history, but studied archaeology, ancient Egyptian art, ancient Egyptian religion, ancient Egyptian language, which is very important because the language is one of the major gates for us to understand so many of the secrets of ancient Egypt. As a tour guide for 20 years, I had the chance to meet so many experts in the field of engineering, chemistry, geology, physics. I met Christopher Dunn, famous American engineer. I met Dr. Robert Schoch. Not only meeting them, but also worked with them. Dr. Robert Schoch, famous geologist, Nassim Haramein, Robert Grant, Alan Green. And I was lucky that we had long conversations, sharing our knowledge about ancient Egypt, and also trying to find solutions for so many of the questions and so many of the hard problems, how the ancient Egyptians built and lifted and cut so huge blocks like the obelisks and like other major, like the obelisks and other huge blocks of stones. Our topic today is about the stars. The word star is very important word. And when we talk about the star, when we say star or when we hear the word star, we always think of something famous, something important, something high quality, something excellent. So that's why one of the reasons that they give the title 5 stars, 4 stars to the hotels and the restaurants, it is a way to explain to the people that it is good service, good quality. Also, when we talk about people and we give them the title star, so we talk about reputation, we talk about famous people, either singers, actors, football players. The word star in education, like in my generation, we used to have star instead of the word excellent. So the teacher used to draw a star for us, which means excellent. In many countries, the army officers, they have the stars above their shoulders, and they show the different levels of these soldiers or officers according to how many stars above the shoulder. Also, in many countries, the same situation with the police forces. So as if the word star is always an important word in the ancient world and also in the modern world. So let's have a short journey in ancient Egypt and see what is the meaning of the star and how come the ancient Egyptians realized the stars and what was the meaning and the concept of the stars in ancient Egypt. The word star in ancient Egypt was made to look like starfish, which is very strange because we know the star is like the sun. Our sun is a star. So it is circled. It's like a sphere. So how come the ancient Egyptians represented that sphere as a starfish with 5 angles? Because the ancient Egyptians were not trying to show us a star only, but they also tried to show us the star and the energy of the star. If you look close to this picture, you are going to see the circle in the middle. And the circle is surrounded with 5 angles. Each angle, in my opinion, is one of the major beams or a package of beams of the star in every direction. So 5 major beamings from the stars surrounding that sphere or that circle. So that is not just a star, it is a star with the energy and the pulsing from the star. This is how the ancient Egyptians made the representation of the star in a short way. This is the shortest way to write the word star, the symbol star, and this little stroke. So we understand when we see this stroke under the word star or any other word, so that is a noun. So that is the short way for writing star. And this is the complete form of the word star. How we say star in the ancient Egyptian language? The word is sabah. Sabah or sibah means star in ancient Egypt. And we can see that the first symbol, which looks like a piece of cloth, and then a leg with a foot, a vulture, and a star, and the sun. This combination also very strange, because are we talking about connection between earth and sky, the foot and the falcon or the vulture? Are we talking about the connection between stars and our sun as a major star or the closest star for us? We're going to find out, because the ancient Egyptians, when they left us symbols, each symbol can be explained as many layers, not just one meaning. No, it has multiple meanings. So every time we try to dive deep to explain a meaning, we find a deeper and deeper meaning. One of the tombs of the Valley of the Kings, that tomb belonged to a king called Ramses V and then was taken by Ramses VI. This tomb is one of the very high quality tombs in the Valley of the Kings. We can see full representation of the sky in that tomb, especially the inner part of the tomb. And I brought you some pictures to see how the Egyptian artist designed the ceiling of the tomb to try to copy the sky. We can see that they showed us two long ladies. The body of the two ladies are long, so it can occupy the whole distance of the ceiling. They are above each other, back to back, and both of them have stars in the main body, but one of them has many red circles. So the second one with the red circles, this is the one which contains the sun. And this is the sun during the night, between sunset and sunrise. So this is the sky goddess, or the accurate way to say the title is the Lady of the Sky, or the Knitter of the Sky. Knitter is the word was explained wrongly by the Egyptologist to be god or goddess. The word Knitter or Netzer is the origin of the word nature. So we can easily understand the meaning of Netzer, which is force of nature or power of nature. So Nut, that is the name of the Knitter. Nut is not the goddess of the sky. Nut is the power or the natural element, which is the sky. So Nut is the sky itself. So we can see Nut creating a huge field, and all the humans and all the beings live under that space or that sphere or under that space. And then there is another Nut on the back side of the first Nut, and the second Nut is the sky or the space outside Earth and outside the atmosphere of Earth. So the first Nut is representing the atmosphere of Earth, and the second Nut representing what is beyond or what is outside Earth and the atmosphere of Earth. And the second one is full of stars and it's full of faraway galaxies. We can see here the external Nut is about to swallow the solar disk, and then the solar disk will take its journey during the night, and then she is going to give birth to the solar disk again, but not red anymore. It will be yellow, because this is the beginning of light again and the beginning of a new day. That's why we see the form of the solar disk here in the shape of a winged scarab. Scarab in ancient Egypt was considered as new beginning and resurrection. The ancient Egyptians left us many words means star and stars. So the first word we saw is sabah. And if we add W to become plural, it will be sabah, means stars. But what about this word? This is ach, or we can say it in English way, ak. Ak means stars also. So which one is correct? The first one, sabah, or this second one, ak. Both are correct because each one can give us different meaning or extra meaning. It's not necessarily to be the same function, the same meaning. No, we understand from the ancient Egyptian language that any extra title or symbol or even different word, it means different meaning and different function. The ancient Egyptians told us that there are two major groups of stars at the sky. They were watching the sky in a very good way, and they realized that there are stars never disappear, like the Big Bear star or the North Star, the Northern Star. So they gave them the title Ikhmu Siku, or Ekmu Siku, mean the indestructible stars. They are always at the sky, every day, 365 days. And then they realized that there is another group of stars crosses the sky and disappears, and it disappears for a certain time, like Sirius star disappears for 70 days and then appears from the east side after 70 days, and so many other stars. We call them the Deacons. The Deacons are groups of 10 stars, and we have 36 groups, and each group is staying or lasting in the sky for 10 days. That's why the ancient Egyptian year in the beginning was 360 days only. But in one of the stories, and you will see it, you will hear that story in the later episodes, that Betah created 5 magical days and add those days to the Egyptian year, so it became 365 days. So these stars are not there all the time. They disappear and appear after a certain time. In another tomb, at the Valley of the Kings, King Thutmose III, he represented also in his tomb, in another tomb from the Valley of the Kings, tomb of King Thutmose III, we see also some strange carvings for beings or human beings with stars above their heads. Each human have a star above the head. If we look carefully, we can see that this human is a male. So my guessing that they are trying to tell us that this energy from the sun or from this star is masculine energy. Because in another picture, in the other side, we will see the same star, but this time above heads of females. So this means the female type of energy. So as if we receive from these stars masculine energy and feminine or female energy. And I think this is okay, and this is correct, because everything is male and female, positive, negative, yin and yang. So duality is important for the balance of our life. And we can see a very beautiful, colorful design also from one of the tombs of the Valley of the Kings. And we can see the star was clearly shown above the head of these females. So they are not talking about female star. No, they are talking about feminine energy comes from each star. The same tomb of Thutmose III, we can see very strange decoration. We can see one of the letters, which I explained that it doesn't mean God or goddess anymore. It means power of nature or a natural element. So this knitter is riding the back of a huge snake, and it seems that he is going up and surrounded by many stars. I think we are talking about 10 stars. So this is a representation of flying to the space, flying out of the galaxy, or maybe flying to a deep spot in the universe, or going to a very far away galaxy. Because the snake here, it doesn't mean snake, it means energy. And in many cases, we call a snake like this type, we call it the snake of time. So as if they try to tell us that time, it doesn't matter in the space, it will be the speed. Now we come to a very important piece. It is important because of the meaning of the carving and also the date of the carving. This piece, according to the label at the Egyptian Museum, it says the cosmic cow. Cosmic cow, or the celestial cow. What does it mean? This is the galaxy, our galaxy, the Milky Way. And maybe because of the cow, we call it the Milky Way, because milk and cow are related. So in modern days, we call it the Milky Way. The ancient times, they used to call it the cow galaxy, or the celestial cow. But what about the date? If we look carefully to the label, we will find that this piece was found among the pieces of what we call them the pre-dynastic Egyptian. Pre-dynastic, one word, means primitive people. There is no doubt that the pre-dynastics were primitive people. So how come primitive people had this concept? Yes, maybe primitive people can talk about stars because they see the stars. But how come primitive people talk about galaxy? And they give us a very good description to the galaxy and to the two main branches of the galaxy. Because some of the newest photos of the Milky Way are showing this shape of galaxy exactly, like main body for the galaxy and two major arms for the galaxy moves in a circle way with the galaxy itself. So how come the pre-dynastic Egyptian had this knowledge? And this will lead us to talk about the lost civilization of ancient Egypt, but that will be in future episodes. Another representation of the Milky Way, or the celestial cow. And by the way, the ancient Egyptian gave a name to this figure. We call it Bat or Bat. Bat is the female word for Ba. When we add T, letter T, to any word, it will become feminine. So without the T is masculine, with the T is feminine. We have some few exceptions, but this is the system in the ancient Egyptian language. So Bat is the name of the Milky Way. In so many ancient carvings, we can see Bat was represented because it seemed that the priest of Bat, or the priest of the temple was responsible to watch the sky, had a great title and had great position. The title was Ir Ma'a. This is one of the sons of King Khufu, called Khufu Jed Ankh. Khufu's son was the high priest in the temple, and he was responsible of watching the sky. And he had the title Winut or Winuti. The title Winuti is the hour watcher, and we explain it as astronomer. His main duty is to watch the sky in a certain hour, not all the time, certain hour. And my guessing that he was also targeting certain star and studying and watching that star carefully to write and to do analysis maybe to the movement of the star and the time of disappearing and the time of appearing, because that may be connected with some kind of phenomenons. like Sirius star, it disappears for 70 days, but when it rises again from the east side, that will be the moment of the flood. So the ancient Egyptians, after the disappearing of the star, Sirius star, they count 70 days because they know that the day 71 is going to be the flood day. We can see the same representation on the dress of the son of Khufu. But again, so they are telling us that this is a very important title. And by the way, when I say priest and temple, originally it was a scientist and an academy, but later it became a temple and priest. When we visit Dandara temple, when we look up to the sky, when we look up to the ceiling, we will see a copy from the universe. This is how I see it and how I explain it. Blue sky, hundreds of boats and ships surrounded by thousands of stars. Above each ship or boat, we can see a different figure from the other ship and the other boat. So here we are looking to a man looking backwards with one arm up and surrounded by stars, surrounded by 7 stars. And according to the Egyptian label and the Egyptology label, this is the star Orion. Not only the star Orion, but the constellation of Orion. And in front of Orion, this is the Sirius star. So the ancient Egyptians wrote the word Orion in the Egyptian way, and we pronounce that word as Sah. Sah means Orion, and we can see the symbol with the 3 sticks in the middle. Those are the 3 major stars of Orion belt. One of the Egyptian rulers of the 5th dynasty, his name was Sahura, as a connection between Orion and the sun. Sahura. So how come this king called himself Sahura, name of a star and name of the sun, unless they were connected with the sky in a very strong level? Who is Sahu or Orion in ancient Egypt? He was an aspect of Osiris or Osiris. So Sahu or Orion is a copy from Osiris, but copy on the sky. And this is Sahu from one of the pyramidions, small pyramid, at the Egyptian Museum. And we can see the 3 stars in front of him, and he is holding 1 star on the other side. Sirius star also was represented in the Egyptian writings, and they give it the name Sobdet. But this time it is not male energy like Orion star. This time it is female and connected with Isis. So Orion is connected with Osiris, and Sirius is connected with Isis. So this is what I told you earlier. They try to tell us that this is not the name or this is not the identity of the star, to be masculine or feminine. No, not the star, it is the energy, the type of energy. Because the ancient Egyptians understood that when the stars had certain alignment together or inside the galaxy itself, that will lead to certain type of energy, sometimes masculine, sometimes feminine, and this energy also sometimes high level of energy, sometimes low level of energy. And they designed many, if not all, they designed many of their sites and constructions to get the benefit of these star constellations. As an example, Karnak temple, if you go there at the 21st of December, 5 o'clock in the morning or during the sunrise time, you are going to see very strange phenomenon that the sun is going to rise exactly from the center of the gate on the east side. And the movement of the sun during the day will be exactly above the center line of the temple. So according to my understanding, this is the most powerful day at Karnak temple. And the ancient Egyptians used to organize celebrations during that day, and they go to the temple to receive the energy of the sun. These celebrations in the older times were healing gathering, but later it took the shape of religious behavior, and it became like in a style of celebrations. But the purpose is the same: healing and receiving the energy from the sun. The same like so many other places, like the 21st of March, 21st of June, some other places like Giza Plateau is being affected with the, the energy is going to be very high during the 21st of June. So star constellations in certain days are sending certain type of energy, and the ancient Egyptian recognized that this energy is affecting the body in a very positive way, and sometimes in a negative way also. So they made sure to be ready for the energy, if it is positive energy, or to do any protection to protect themselves from the energy if it is negative energy. So many of the representations at Dendera temple, we know for sure it means star galaxy, but unfortunately we cannot identify most of them. We managed to identify few. Like we can see the this boat or this ship surrounded by tens of stars, but we don't know what is the name of this galaxy. When I say tens of stars, I'm not actually talking about 10 or 15 or 18 stars. No, that number, we can add many zeros to this number, so we are talking about 10 million stars or 10 billion stars, or 15 million or 18 million stars. And of course, there is no space to put all of them. So they give us just an example to the number of these stars. Not only Dendera temple, but you will see stars represented almost everywhere in Egypt, inside tombs, inside pyramids, like Unas pyramid and Titi pyramid at Saqqara. Esna temple, like this picture. So in many sites you will see only stars, and this is a message that we are under the level of the first sky, our first dimension, our life. And when they represent beings and humans with the stars, so they are talking about star galaxies, and they are talking about star constellations. So Esna temple, after they cleaned the black color, the soot, we managed to see very beautiful carvings and very beautiful colors. So we are looking to, again, beings with stars above their heads. So, and the same way they are standing above a ship or a boat. Okay, so we are talking again about star constellations and galaxies. So this is one of the galaxies or the constellations we managed to understand. This is supposed to be the leg of the cow, but here it has a complete shape of a cow or a bull. So this is the Pleiades. And the hippopotamus here can play, we are not very sure, but it's like 80% sure that this is the Draco constellation. So the Draco constellation and the Pleiades. The famous carving was taken from Dendera temple. We call it Dendera zodiac. But to call it the zodiac, that is not fair, because this huge stone includes more than the zodiac. The zodiac is the inner part of the carving, but then we have the middle carving, talks about star constellations, like Draco again, the hippopotamus here in the middle, and the dog constellation. And then the outlines talks about bigger and major galaxies, but we are not able to identify or to recognize what kind of galaxies are these. So zodiac, Dendera zodiac, is more than a zodiac. If you visit the Nubian Museum at Aswan, you are going to see very strange stones arranged in circles. These stones were brought from a very remote location west of Abu Simbel. We call it Nabta Blaya. Nabta Blaya also dates back to almost 6000 BC. And Egyptologists understood that this design is trying to copy a star constellation or like a galaxy style. So this is one of the early representations of astronomy activities in ancient Egypt, but not in regular ancient Egypt, in the pre-dynastic Egyptians again, the time of the primitive people. So again, this is a way or one of the evidences that there was a very high type of knowledge during the primitive time, which doesn't match the time. So they inherited this knowledge from previous civilization. These are the stones, and because the officials were afraid that these stones maybe will be taken by some adventurers, okay, so they brought it to the Nubian Museum at Aswan. Then we come to a very important part. This is the shape of a gate. The ancient Egyptian represented the gate or the door. So this looks like the gate of the temple. If you visited Egypt, you will understand that this is the shape of the gate of the temple. And the name of the gate is Rut. Rut means gate. And this is the word sabah, as I told you earlier. Sabah means star. And this is the full shape of the word sabah. So the first word gate, the second word star. So what will happen if we see the two words are together in one word? Like this one. This is one of the, this is a picture from Edfu temple. We can see the star above the gate. So the only way to read that word is Stargate. Stargate is going to be the next topic in our next episode. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching.